Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and this is Gylt. Gylt is nominally a horror game, I think, but it reminds me a lot more of those really well-executed adventure games where you set out on a quest in a cute little world that, well, in this case, turned sour very, very quickly, but you set out on a quest to do something, and you're driven and you're led through events by an overarching narrative and, well, a literal narration oftentimes as well, as you will see in this case it is the little girl that you play as that's doing most of the narrating, but the key sort of element that this game is marketing it, front and center, I suppose, that's the expression, is the fact that it takes design of its monsters and its enemies a little bit differently. Unlike something like Silent Hill or Amnesia or something along those lines, here you have two options. You either hide from your fears or you face them, much like in real life, and much like in the life of an average
no police, no firemen,
traumatized girl, I suppose.
Did everyone just
Except,
leave or what?
from what I've seen, what's happening to her seems very, very real. Now, I've been sitting here in my room at, 1 AM in the morning,
What?
weighing and debating with myself for about 20 minutes where to start the recording. To start the game from the very beginning wouldn't be very fair, because it takes a little bit of time to get to the main part, but also to sort of start you in medias res, or, actually let's pronounce that properly, in medias res, or to start you in the middle of things, in other words, also wouldn't be exactly ideal, because you wouldn't, get most of the story, and you wouldn't understand what's going on. So I decided to start sort of towards the end of the beginning tutorial. The story thus far is we play as this little girl here whose sister has disappeared, and actually I'm not sure it's her sister, probably her sister because they look alike, but her name's Emily, and she disappeared, and now we're trying to find her, or rather we've been trying to find her for about 2 months, I think, and via a magical rail car on top of a mountain, yes, I'm not making that up, we've ended up in what I'm assuming is a parallel dimension of some sorts, kind of like the Upside Down from Stranger Things, and, well, that's all I know, story-wise, thus far. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the lighting, I love even the textures and the graphical fidelity. The one thing I don't like all that much, I think we're going to see later down the line.
Is that Emily? All this time, was she hiding at school?
I don't think so.
Don't understand. Why would Emily hide at school?
So we have a flashlight as our only tool right now. We also have inhalators for our asthma, I suppose. Assuming, sorry. And they do restore health, although I don't know how to use them on controller. I tried playing the game on mouse and keyboard. It's not great. I'll get to the one thing I don't really love about the game in a bit, and that's some of the sort of cartoon, not really cartoon, some of the comic book style drawing cinematics and cutscenes. It's weird. There was an example very early on, this is very early on, but there was an example of this at the start of the game where you go to buy a ticket for the rail cart, and instead of just playing out a cutscene like we just saw seconds ago, the game switches to this like hand-drawn comic book style of cutscene, which
She was right there.
I don't quite love, especially because the game looks so good and gorgeous as it is, and that sort of takes you out of character a little bit and then breaks up the narrative, I feel like. But anyways, we do have sprint also, and well, here's something creepy. All the pictures have been, as you can see, they've scribbled out the face of the girl we're looking for. Now, like I said, I tried to play this game on mouse and keyboard. It's not ideal. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot more pleasant on controller. I'll give you a couple of examples. If you click this, it's a very useful thing, right? Here is the map of your current area. Unfortunately, can you actually see this? using OBS to record. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You probably can. Let's hide that away in the corner. So you can't actually move this map with mouse and keyboard, or rather you can. But you can't move it with WASD, as I would kind of expect. You can't zoom in with, you know, some of the more, I guess, intuitive buttons. You have to use the arrow keys for that, and often moving around, and it's generally not great. Handling this UI also feels a little bit clunky, and it really shouldn't, considering how simple the game is, but never mind. Alright, let's go off the beaten path a little bit here. I know we're supposed to try and enter through the main door, but experience so far has taught me that most of the main entrances in these games are usually closed and locked down. And I'm assuming this is the key to the front door, which I don't know I need yet, but...
What is that thing?
I'll tell you what it is. It looks kind of funny, but also kind of scary. It's very in character with the fact that I'm 5. Or, I don't know, 6, 7 maybe, but anyways. You get the idea. Alright. Well, we avoided... I was just gonna say we avoided the monster. Yeah, not quite. You know, it's time to hide. Red has been discovered.
There's more of those monsters.
Right.
I've got to stay away from them.
At which point do I get to fight the monsters, though, is my question. Not quite sure on that. This game, in its sort of style of... Okay, that bush looks a little bit weird. In its style, I guess it reminds me a little bit of Stray, in that... Well, okay, it is fairly different, but at the same time, I can sort of see some similarities here and there. Stray also had these enemies that you would hide from. The biggest difference, of course, being in Stray, you play as a cat. Here you play as a 5-year-old, but dare I argue, oftentimes that's not that big of a difference. Okay. Let's get into the school, guarded by the monsters, because why the hell wouldn't we? Explore to discover the secrets hidden in the world. Well, I hope I haven't missed any thus far, but well, I suppose we shall see. Like I said, gorgeous game. Absolutely gorgeous. That looks like a monster. That definitely looks like a monster.
A mining canary is a weird mascot.
No, I like it. I like it. It's tough. But it's still a canary. Yeah, I approve of it. I approve of the mascot.
What's going on here?
Clearly, there be monsters abound.
Strange book.
Right, strange book. I don't like it here. I miss my home and all my old friends. I see my cousin in the halls sometimes, but she is in another class, so most of the time I'm all alone. Looks like everyone else has friends to talk to. I don't know where I should... I don't know when I should say hi. Maybe I shouldn't have done it before, and now it's too late. The teacher made me tell the class my name in front of everyone, but I was so scared I couldn't speak. After that, he sent me to my desk. When I looked up, everyone was staring at me, but I think they were all smiling too. Maybe it won't be so bad after all. Maybe I can make some new friends. Right. So, if I'm allowed to moan a little bit... Moan? Well, not in that sense, but if I'm allowed to complain a little bit more about the game, if you will... Switching resolutions tends to cause problems. VSync causes more problems. HDR doesn't work. Now, I'm very careful about criticizing the game, especially given the history of my graphics card and its problems that it's been giving me. Made several videos on that previously. But HDR has never been an issue, and I can't seem to turn it on. And I've checked everything, it should work fine. Oddly enough, this seems like a kind of game that I would like to play with HDR, but I can't. Which is a little bit weird. Either way, though,
The hallway's locked.
I've also noticed that the brightness is a little bit weird. Okay, this might not be the greatest place to showcase that because there's flickering light, but okay, this might be a good place to show it off. I feel like if I pause like this and then go back in, yeah, the brightness goes up and down sometimes. It's not really the brightness, it's this thing. Sorry, I keep breaking up the narrative in the game. It's gamma correction. Gamma correction, I feel like, goes up and down on its own.
It's locked from the other side.
I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh. Right, so I can hide in the vent.
I'll take this.
I have to admit, I don't want to use the flashlight as much as I'm using it, but I'm doing this for a YouTube video, and... well, I kind of have to, sorry, because otherwise you won't be able to see anything. And it's not much of a YouTube video if you don't see anything. Okay. Monster section. A silhouette of Sally will appear at the last place where the monsters sense something. Be careful, they will go there to investigate. Right. Well, luckily it's just one of those things, though, so it's not a big deal.
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing? Broken mirror, flickering lights, giant hole in the wall. It's not nothing. It's Danger Will Robinson is what it is. Yes, you can change the camera angle. Not sure exactly how helpful that is in situations like these, but I guess, yeah, a little bit. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, their faces are inverted. That kind of makes them a little bit creepy, but they're kind of cartoony at the same time. It's honestly a terrific balance, if nothing else. Ah, I can use the flashlight to bait them. Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Everything looks different.
Yeah, like I said, this is basically upside down land. Right. So I reckon I need to plug this. Somehow. Crouch! Crouch, child! God damn it. Okay, that's how we use the healing ability. What's this? Oh! Hello. That's interesting. Ah, there's the thing I need to do, right? Yeah. I just didn't see it. Well, fair enough, I suppose. We turn off the steam here and then we can go up the thing. Fairly simple. I just didn't see the valve.
Good.
Yeah, see, there you go, right there. I think the brightness flickered again. It's a weird problem to have in a game, but yeah, games like these I expect no problems, so I'm allowed to be at least a little bit negative, I feel like. About those issues, though, that could just be me and nobody else having those problems. I do feel the need to point them out.
And the day she shows up again, all these monsters come with her. What does this all mean? Where was she?
Well, I think what this all means is that I've passed out. Probably whilst, well, not once, but probably after that whole bike accident. I do believe you just killed a person. Oh, probably not. Ticket fragment. A piece of a cable car ticket, but it's old and worn out and may crumble to dust at any moment. Right.
It's another strange book.
Okay, what does this one say? Only good at killing. I know that's how they see me. They're not wrong, you know. I'm good. I'm pretty damn good at killing. Maybe it's not the only thing I'm good for. Is this some never-ending war? I should have died with them. Yeah, this is someone like a war veteran with all sorts of problems, let's say. Survivor's Guilt. Yeah, Survivor's Guilt. There we go. We're now tying into the actual title of the game. Obviously my character's feeling guilt because her sister's disappeared. The monsters are here, they reek of blood and gunpowder. They've wrecked the whole town, I'm ready to fight now. I'm finally free to do the thing I'm good at. The devil in my mind is smiling, my old friends, they're all here with me, their eyes bright and green, they see everything. And they are proud of me. Of course they are. I'm going to fulfill my destiny. Well,
It's another strange book.
right. I keep pressing the wrong button, sorry. No, I didn't. I didn't press the wrong button. It just didn't give me the option. There we go. We're at the hospital today. We always come here. Every time my grandpa gets sick, it's so quiet. I'm not allowed to run in the hallways. I can hear Mum and Dad arguing a lot, even though they're whispering. They say we can't stay here once it's all over. I don't know what they mean by that. They say we have to move, that there's nothing keeping us here once he's gone. I don't understand. He's going to get better. Mum says we're going to move to Bethelwood, where my aunt lives. But I thought this is Bethelwood. Right. Okay. Fine, I suppose. Now, let's wait for this guy to go past. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
These monsters are everywhere. What are they? What do they want?
He's a bit stupid, isn't he? Doesn't notice that the door is opened. Oh, that's fine, though. Right, so I can hide from the monsters and the vents. That's fairly obvious. I can also use the vents to navigate certain places. And like I said, I'm really wondering where the face your monsters part of the game comes in. I think that would be rather interesting. Cookies. Right. Where am I going to now? Oh, I don't think we can go back there. It's up here again, isn't it? Yeah, up here, and well, if I think about it for more than 5 seconds, it's kind of obvious where I'm going. To the new place I've just unlocked. Right, good. Again, the game looks absolutely phenomenal. I love the art style, I love the... I mean, even the amount of details. It isn't overwhelming, but it's just enough. And the resolution, the graphical fidelity and everything, of course. God, I'd love to play this on like a really nice 4K TV. Ooh, that would be lovely. Hallway should open any door in the hallway. Lovely. Throw soda cans to make noise. Oh boy. Right, here we go. Left trigger to aim, right trigger to throw. The sound distracts nearby monsters. Okay. Well, there goes nothing. It's too far away for him to be distracted by it, isn't it?
I might need this.
Now, if I were particularly cynical, I could say something about finding random inhalers at random spots and using them, and that could be a metaphor for something a lot more sinister, but I'm not going to do that. I'm in fact not going to point out the obvious. Let's get out of here instead. So that was the teacher's lounge. I can open the door there. I can go to those places, and yeah, there's the shining bright beacon of where I'm supposed to go. Down the hallway and to the right. Fair enough. Just make sure there's nothing this way. Or this way. Lovely. Classroom 102. I'm curious again.
We see you.
Nah, can't pick that up. No way. It's, the things that see me, I think, are supposed to go away first, and then I reckon I'll be able to pick that up. Right. Teacher's lounge.
Locked from the other side.
Oh, it's locked from the other side. Lovely. Not that it particularly matters, because I have nothing to do there, but now go through here.
Emily, are you there?
And encounter new fresh horrors. One would assume. Yes?
Bethelwood used to be a big mining town, but that was a long time ago. Not even my parents remembered the mine.
Right, hello. Yeah, it seems like we might be, well, I don't know, stuck in the past? Might not necessarily be the past either, I mean. Don't know, okay, this is just to hide from the thing if I mess up. And he sees me, which I inevitably will. I'm actually not really think he's giving me a lot of leeway here. There's no option of changing the difficulty or anything, you just... It is what it is with the game, basically. You just go with it. So again, the lighting and everything is just... It just works.
Emily?
It's very, very nice. Alright, well, there is obviously going to be probably something in biology and probably something down here. I'll eventually need to use that vent. Actually, I think I'll need to use that vent right now. Yep.
Huh. It's a leaky sprinkler.
It is a leaky sprinkler indeed. It's a... Not what I expected you to point out. Currently. Oh, whoops. Well, the sprinkler's no longer leaky. And we can head on through.
Nice.
And turn off the electricity. Did this skeleton just move? Kind of feel like it was facing the other direction. Maybe it's just me, though. And there we go. Just the ladder and up to the thing, and we make it into biology. Well, there you go. I feel like the more I show of this game, the more of its value I take away, because this is really a one-time experience that you sort of go through, right? And I don't want to make this video too long of me showing you what the game's like and giving my first impressions of it. I think you've seen enough. It's creepy, it's a very interesting story that I think, you know, has a lot of well, on the one hand, depth with you know, the PTSD veteran and stuff, but on the other hand, I think it speaks to the inner child in me and kind of gives you this sense of wanderlust where you want to find out what's going on, want to move to the next room and the next room and stuff like that. Much like Stray, I really would I would really compare this game more to that than any other traditional horror game. So yeah, it's good. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's gorgeous, and I think you get a really good idea from the first, like, well, not the very first 20 or 30 minutes, but from this extract here that, or from this bit of,
It worked.
Right. Ah, but that consumes battery, whereas just aiming it doesn't consume battery. And it pretty much just straight up replaces my, whatchamacallit.
Flashlight burned that eye thing. Maybe it'll work on other monsters too.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it on this monster, because spots that are vulnerable to the flashlight beam. It's going to be the... No, I don't know what's going to be on him. The head, maybe? Yeah, I don't want to find out. I don't want to use the beam to... Okay, that is weird. I don't want to use the beam to knock out these things, although I suppose I might. Just to prove a theory, I guess. To aim with aim assist. Yeah, speaking of... I'd like some aim assist, thank you very much, because I'm playing on controller. Right. Well, we burned the snot out of him. He's gone. And so is a bit of my batteries, but and I'm going to save that for the eye things, because they're the ones that actually are blocking some valuable resources. These guys I can relatively easily avoid. And that's what I would recommend to you as well. But here I'm going to stop this video because it's been 30 minutes. I think that's perfect for a game of this type. I don't want to show you too much. I've shown you the basics, and there you go. Ultimately, it's not a big AAA hitter, I think. That's obvious to everyone, right? It's not the scariest game ever, and it's not the most... It doesn't have the most difficult puzzles and the most convoluted plot, but... I think what it delivers, humbly, it delivers very well. An intriguing world, you know, full of weird little details for you to explore, and mechanics just good enough to grip you and make you stick with the game, right? So, like I said, it's not the most complicated thing ever. Just point the flashlight and kill the thing, or save the batteries for something else. Fairly simple mechanics, everything's fairly basic, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's not the most grandiose title, not the most ambitious thing ever, but it does deliver an interesting story, and it does nail the lighting, the aesthetic, and the overall mood and feel of the game very, very well. I do feel like a 5 to 7 year old exploring what is, I assume, going to turn out to be her nightmare, right? Or something along those lines, but I don't know, we shall see, I suppose. Might actually be a different world. Doesn't really matter at all to begin with, but it's fun. Ultimately, I think that's the most important thing. The game's very fun, and I very much recommend it. However, what I don't quite understand is why my character's floating, which I've just noticed. Is it just in this room? If I move over here, maybe it's not? No, my character is floating. And she doesn't seem to be making proper contact with the ground. Yes.
Good.
Well, yeah, that's very, very weird. Okay. Maybe if I crouch and stand... No, crouching and standing back up just made it worse, I think. If I sprint... see, sprinting looks a little bit more normal, but this is just weird. Okay, well, like I said, that combined with some of the graphical issues that I've had with the lighting and the HDR thing, not ideal. I would hope those things get fixed very soon. The game just came out, but yeah, even if they don't, it doesn't bother me too much. Like I said, I would love to play this on the telly somewhere or something like that, lie in bed with a controller and you know, go through the story, because it isn't particularly long, I don't think, either. So yeah, there you go. But before we end off, ultimately, do I recommend the game? Yes, absolutely. I think it's good, and I think you should pick it up if you're interested in cute little adventures like this. But before we leave, I do want to leave you with some information. Just a second. So, okay, here we go, found it. The game is developed by Tequila Works and Parallel Circles. It is also published by Tequila Works. They classified it as action, adventure, horror, narration, and puzzle according to the Steam page. Currently, it is on. Currently, it is on sale for €20, or your regional equivalent. I think it's the same in dollars. It's $20. It's a bit steep, especially because I don't think the game's particularly long, but it is a very unique blend of both cute and gloomy, dark, mysterious, and scary. Well, maybe not scary, but gloomy, dark, mysterious, and creepy. At least a little bit. If we do away with some of the glaring issues of the character's movement being a bit, what the hell is that? And some of the graphical issues, the HDR and stuff like this, stuff that I've had problems with, if we, do away with that and say that's just on my end, or it just doesn't happen anymore starting tomorrow, then yes, I would definitely recommend this game, even for the full asking price, but especially if it goes on sale, couple of months from now and you don't have much to play, or you want something short but unique at the same time, I would definitely recommend it for 50% off or even 30% off. It's not that much money, and obviously it all depends on your financial situation, but ultimately I do think this is a good game, and I do recommend it. Right. If you have any questions about this title, or about me, or anything in general regarding to this, related to this video, feel free to ask down in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and that's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. My name is Juggernaut. Apologise if I'm stumbling over my words a little bit, but I am very sleepy. It is very late, and I've been quite busy over the last few days. So, anyways, with all those excuses out of the way, let's say, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and we'll stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on the channel. I do mainly Let's Plays of RPGs and some strategy games and stuff like that, as well as the odd first impressions or mini-series, and as a foray into something I don't usually cover. Right, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Have fun, take care, and bye-bye.